Ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, swearing. In the red corner, spoilers. And in the green corner, opinions. Fight. Triangle fight. Go.
Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We let you know whether they're worth staying indoors for or whether it's not worth it at all. If you would like to let us know what film we're watching this week, Keiran, that would be wonderful.
You know what? I will. This week we're going to be watching Drishyam, and I really apologise if that is not the way that I should be saying that name.
Pretty sure it's Drishyam.
And it came out in the year 2015 and is number 247 on the list. So it's just about clinging on there. You know what? It's number 247 on the list at the time of recording.
Could be gone by the time
it could be
it's
gone
out.
by the time it comes out. So you know what, guys? I'm sorry.
So hopefully this isn't a really, really shit film that we could have just avoided if we'd have, had the number generator a couple of weeks later.
By the way, if this is your first time listening to the show, as Jordan said, this is the podcast where we listen to films to tell you whether it's worth staying indoors or not to watch. We randomly generate a number from 1 to 250, and sometimes it will land on a film that has only just come out. So, for example, it came out recently, Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man Spider-Verse film, that is in the list now, and so is the Avengers. What was the big Avengers film? Infinity War?
Yes.
Yeah, when that one came out. Sorry, Jordan. Yeah, so we might, if we stumble upon those really big new films, then we will watch those too. Jordan, have you seen Drishyam?
Fuck no. What is this going to be about? I cannot even fathom.
2015, though, I've got high hopes.
Yeah, the film was made recently-ish.
Doesn't necessarily mean that it's any good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It does not mean it's good.
In fact, I recently perused the 100 worst films.
Right.
And Slender Man was on that 100 worst films list. And that came out in 2018.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But Drishyam, I think it's not a British or American film. I think it possibly is an Indian film. I don't know. It could be fucking
literally, I could not predict this because what does it even mean?
Okay, I'm thinking live action. I think I've seen the poster. I think it's live action. So I reckon it's going to be let's go mystical with this shit. Okay, I reckon it is a man. I reckon it is a man who discovers that in order to seduce the love of his life, who is called Ronald. He has to go into the magical... Right. Thank you. He has to go into the magical forest.
Yeah.
And he has to uncover all of the amazing plants and herbs and spices that he can put into his food.
All of Uncle Ben's herbs and spices.
all of 11 Uncle Ben's herbs and spices, and he's going to put them into his chicken bucket, and he's going to
chicken bucket.
But he gets the recipe from the Drishyam book. That's what it is.
Right.
I reckon that's where the name comes from.
Okay,
Jordan.
Fuck me.
Come on, where's your imagination at?
Right. I'm just all I can see is the word dry. I'm thinking. I don't know.
What's a Shiam then? What's a Shiam?
See, I think Drishyam is just the person's name. But I just don't know what they're doing. I just don't know. I'm really struggling to imagine anything.
Maybe it's Dr. Ishyam. And they just forgot to put the punctuation in there. Because there's Drishyam. So maybe it's Dr. Ishyam.
Maybe it's all an acronym.
All right, okay. So
do right in shadows. Hide yourself. I am man.
Well, no, because there's not another I.
No, hide yourself.
Hide yourself. AM.
I am man. Oh, is it not D? Oh, I've spelt it wrong.
Surprise, surprise. So, do right in shadows.
In shadows.
Hide yourself.
Hide yourself. And masquerade.
That's quite good. So, is this a spy film?
Maybe.
A secret spy organization.
A secret spy organization going by the name of Drishyam plants an agent inside an agent. And
okay.
He's a really small person.
Okay, all right.
And she's even smaller.
So, let's see if either of those things happen when we watch the film.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
In a second.
Okay, bye. And we're back with a couple of fast thoughts. India.
Why do you always say the first thing that I think of too?
Well, what? The first one you think of or the first one you've written down, you fuck?
I haven't written any of them down. Yellow car. Punch, no returns. What?
I wanted to say car. Mobile phone.
Barely any women, but they're all crying.
Cinema.
Eating those little
Pak choy. No, it wasn't that.
It was pak choy. Indian food.
Sisterhood. What? There were sisters.
Pervy sexual harassment.
Movie smarts.
Movie smarts?
Yeah, smart guy from movie.
Killing people.
Wise cracking apprentice.
Corruption.
Police.
Well, I mean, I basically said it by saying corruption. Am I right? Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, conflict of interest.
Oh, wow. Always the funniest topics, Jordan. All right, okay. That's all for me.
Okay, yeah, I'll stop it there then. Are you ready with your doing the thing where you subscribe? Where you...
I tell you what, if we say subscribe without stuttering every single time, if we say subscribe enough times in the episode, maybe it'll be like a subliminal message that people like pick up on. So if they subscribe, then they should subscribe to the channel.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes,
maybe we should do that?
If you say it 3 times in the mirror, we appear behind you.
Exactly. But this is the thing where I sum up the film in 15 seconds.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
A girl is harassed by a guy who takes videos of her, and he comes to her house. He kills her. She kills him, and the whole film is like how her dad saved her and fucked with the police, and the police are corrupt, and they get away with it, and no one else dies.
16:30.
I shouldn't have said that last bit.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, you were there and you
Fuck.
just went a little bit. But to be honest, you were kind of just saying it really slowly because there wasn't that much going on.
There wasn't that much going on, despite it going on forever.
Yep, 2 hours and 45 minutes, folks.
No less. Should we just go straight into the synopsis?
Yeah. So the film starts kind of cool, where it's just the guy, and you see him, and he gets off the bus, and he's a police officer, and he's going to the police station, and he sees this guy standing by, sitting in the station, and the other guy, they're all guys, and he's like, oh, that's VJ, you know him? And he's like, no, what's his deal? And he's like, oh, you don't know what he did. Flashback. Massive zoom in into his face, like the longest stalker style zoom in, like all the way from like 2 meters away from him, and like right up into his eyes. It was so long. Massive flashback. Jordan. Yeah. So we start with him. Is he at his house? No. He's at home with his wife. No. He's in his cable shop. No? Right, at work. Did I not say that? Sorry. He's at work watching films. We find out that he works, he sort of owns like a cable company. Yeah. It's just him and this assistant. Yeah. And we sort of see his sort of integration with the community around. It's a small village. He goes to like the little cafe around the corner or just next door, and they all sort of hang there. That's where all the police officers get their food as well. Yep. And there's a police officer that comes in, and he's one of those ones that's sort of, well, he's corrupt, and he's asking, he takes things for free. And when the guy's like, "Were you going to pay your bill?" He's like, "No." And the VJ is the main hero kind of guy, and
VJ and this corrupt police officer, they're beefing like the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time they're beefing, just beefing loud. And because VJ is like, I'm not having it because you're a police officer. We're not supposed to be. What?
I'm thinking about the Ed Sheeran song.
What?
I'm beefing out loud.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
I'm thinking out loud. No, beefing out loud.
No.
Okay.
I was thinking, Craig, I'm beefing away.
Okay.
Yeah, troubles in my life. Right, so anyway, they're having like confrontational time because VJ's like, you're a police officer, we're not supposed to be afraid of you, you're supposed to like make us feel safe, and that's not what you're doing. You're taking money from us, and I'm not having it. Like, there's other police officers that aren't like you, and you know, like one day you'll get your comeuppance. You cum muppets.
Jordan! That's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Ooh.
That must be. Oh my god. I have Google open here, just ready for us, but I do not want to search for that.
I said that, but I didn't think of Muppets. I was thinking of crumpets, which is so much worse.
I don't know. I think the video of cum crumpets will be less will be less horrific than cum muppets.
Oh no. Okay.
You were saying?
I can't really remember what sort of happens from there, but we just see that they have like interactions, and that officer's like angry with him, but VJ's not necessarily afraid of him. So VJ goes home. We see his wife. She's cooking, and he like comes up behind her, and he's like, "Give me all your money." And she's like, "Whoa, oh, it's you. You're a dick." And then he's like, "Ha ha ha, come with me." And like a little bit of a like, oh yeah, we're married and we're sexually active, and she's like, no, let's go have breakfast. So they go and have breakfast, and we see his daughters. He's got like a teenager and like a little girl who's probably about 6 or something like that. Yeah. So they're talking about how they want to go to, I can't remember what the place was called.
Nearby big town.
Think of your local shopping centre that's about half an hour away, but it's more like it's a couple of hours away because they have to get a bus. He doesn't drive. He rides a motorbike everywhere.
Yeah,
but he's got a family of 4. Can't fit a family of 4 on a motorbike, so they get a taxi to the bus. I don't know why I'm going to say.
Please tell me all of the travel logistics, Jordan.
And the guys, the guy that's on the bus. No, that's later. Don't worry about that.
It doesn't matter.
They go to the cinema. They watch a film. They're all happy. They eat some food. Nice. Having a good time.
And the elder daughter is like, Dad, I really want to go on this nature trip. Please, can I go on this nature trip?
He's like, you need to go to nature because nature's outdoors. It's where stuff is. Knowledge in books is only so much. And then his wife's like, that's great. So yeah, we're gonna pay the money. And he's like, whoa.
All knowledge is in books.
All knowledge is in books. Nothing is outdoors. But it's all inside.
But he lets his daughter go on the trip. He
lets her go anyway. She goes on the trip
and gets assaulted. I'm trying to say harassed and assaulted at the same time. She gets sexually harassed by a guy who takes videos and pictures.
Yeah, he's all like, boo, filming. Like, that's the noise that it makes when you film something.
Yep. So it's obviously terrible. She comes back from the trip and she gets this guy who took videos of her, comes up in his car, drives up towards her house, and she's like, oh, you're Sam from the trip. And he's like, yeah, I have this video of you, look. And she's horrified. It's a video of her back while she's bathing.
Yeah.
You don't see anything else.
He's like, now everyone's going to know how you bathe.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Who cares how?
Let's save it for the beefs.
Okay. Okay, all right. There's going to be quite a few.
Yep.
So we'll save them.
Yeah, so she's like, no, please delete the film. And he's like, hey, look, I haven't sent it to anyone yet, and I'll delete it. But you got to do something for me. You got to meet me outside your house tonight. She's like, no. He's like, yeah. She's like, oh, okay. So then, like, later on, we see VJ's at work, like, this whole time. Like, he's just working. And sometimes he stays out. Like, sometimes he doesn't come back home, it seems. So anyway, it's the nighttime. It's raining. And she's like, fuck, okay, I'm gonna have to go and meet him. She creeps out of her house, and like he's there, and he's like pulls a little rapey smile, and then comes indoors. And then he sees that her mum's there, and they both like, please delete the video. Don't do this to us. It will ruin our family. And then he's like, no. And then he sort of does a rapey face towards her mum, and it's generally a bit of a rapey scene where the the daughter and the mum are both like just looking completely helpless. At one point, Sam's holding up the phone and the daughter's behind him, and she has a pole. She tries to hit the phone out of his hand, but then it just hits his head because he moves his phone, and then that kills him. And she's like, fuck. And the mum's like, fuck. And then they're like, we need to bury him. They go out to bury him, but the younger daughter is awake now, and she's like looking out the window, seeing them bury him, and she's like, fuck. And then they're all like, fuck.
Yeah.
And they're all just like inside, just sort of like crying. VJ comes home
the next day,
and there's like muddy footprints. He's like, what the fuck? and and they explain the whole thing to him, and he's like, fuck. Right. So he's like, Captain Dad.
Yep.
Got to think of a plan of action. He tells them to like lock up, stay indoors, don't answer the door. He needs to go out and sort this out. So he goes out, and you see him like go on this trip. So basically, he gets like a cab into town, and goes to like get an. He has. Oh, sorry. They smashed up the phone, but he has the SIM card. He goes to the town. He gets a new phone, puts the SIM card in. Oh, sorry. Wait. No, he doesn't get a taxi into town. He finds the guy's car. So he gets the car, the yellow car, and opens it with the key, but the alarm goes on. Save it for the beefs. And
oh my God.
Whilst he's doing that, like the alarm goes off, and that douchebag police officer's like just around the corner talking to some guys, like hustling them out of some money or something. And he sees VJ get into this car, and he's like, "What's up with that?" VJ's driven off. So he's gone into town. He gets a new phone, puts a SIM card in the phone, and it's like going off like crazy. He asks the guy to silence it, and he does. And then he's like, so VJ just continues on his trip. He like goes to some other places. You see him like collecting receipts and stuff like that. And he goes to a quarry. He
also gets rid of the mobile.
Oh, sorry, yeah. There's like a truck. We can't read it because it's in Indian, but I'm assuming it says Hindi, that it's like going to somewhere. Yeah,
cargo Hindi. Truck or something.
Yeah, so he throws the phone into the truck, and the truck obviously drives off to wherever it's going. He takes the car to a quarry, and he drives it into like the water, and there's this tense scene where this guy who's just walking across could have almost seen him, but he doesn't, so it's fine.
There's a lake in the quarry, by the way. There shouldn't normally be lake in the quarry, but there is in this one.
Well, if you dig deep enough, you'll find water sometimes. So then VJ comes back home, and he's like, right, we need to go out, and like as if we're going out, like, and when he comes back, he's like obviously a bit shooken up by this whole thing, and the assistant's like, yo dude, what's up? And he's like, what? Nothing. And he's like, no, you're not yourself. And then he's like, fuck you, and don't be late, and fuck you. And then the guy's like, oh good, okay, you're fine. So then he goes home, and he's like, we need to totally be chill and forget this, because people are going to be suspicious if we look sad. So just chill out. We're going to go out tomorrow. We're going to do stuff. And they go to see... Well, they basically do everything that they did when they go to town before, but they also go to see a spiritual leader guy. A sermon, yeah. But the sermon's ended, and they're just sitting there all day. So they do that, and then they come back. Keiran.
When they come back, the dad is all like, the police are going to interrogate you. They're going to ask you loads of questions. They're going to make you feel like you've been telling lies. They're going to shout lies at you. You have to stick to your story. And so he gruels, like the dad is like, what time did we go to this place? And where was it? And blah, 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 blah. So they all have the exact same story.
Yeah.
The police interrogate the family several times. They interrogate like the older daughter at school. They interrogate them all like at the same time, but like separately. And they're watching so the person who got killed by the daughter, his mum is like the chief fucking detective.
IG. I don't know what that means. It's like
the
chief inspector.
Chief inspector of like Goa, which is a massive district of India.
Yeah.
And as far as my understanding is, and she's watching these videos of the people getting interrogated, and like all of their stories all check out.
Yeah.
But she has a feeling that they're lying about something because it's almost like too perfect a story. And so she's like, okay, they told us a story, bring us all the characters of this story. And so they bring like the person who drove the bus, like all of the people who work in like the hotels, the various hotels and
literally
restaurants.
Everywhere they went, they bring in a person who they claim to have spoken to, and then they do the whole process again, interviewing them and asking them questions. But the story still checks out.
Now, I am quite happy, if you are, to basically go straight to the whole montage where, like, she is narrating this is how he did his thing.
Yeah.
Cool. There's like an hour between what I just said and what I'm about to say.
Yep.
Which we don't need to go through.
No.
Essentially what he did, when he went to town the first time to buy the phone and sort out the SIM card and stuff, he also bought a bunch of other things like food and the cinema tickets and whatever, which proved the receipts of being somewhere on the 2nd of October. The next day, he went to town with his family and did a bunch of other stuff and saw the bus conductor and the cinema guy, and he told all of them the story of, yes, we are here to see this sermon, and we are here, it's the 2nd of October, and like, so he was really, really like friendly, but like adamant about telling everyone the exact same story so they all remembered the information. They then went back to town again on like the 5th or whatever.
Like a couple of days later. To remind everyone.
And did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And just replicate the exact same days to remind everyone so that they all had the exact same story and they all completely checked out. So essentially, there was no evidence at all that
there was nothing that they could do to prove that what they suspected and what they knew was that basically they knew that they were behind the disappearance of Sam, but they could not prove anything because the story was so watertight that there was nothing they could do
unless they could find the body.
Exactly.
So they're abusing, like they're torturing. Well, yeah, like they're punching up the family. They're punching up the dad, punching up the mum, punching up the elder daughter, and they realize that they're only going to break through to the younger kid.
Yeah.
And so they separate them, and this police officer is like beating up this tiny 6-year-old girl, and she's finally like, I'll tell you where it is. I'll tell you where the body is. Go over to the home, like the family's home, and like the whole press is there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad, Vijay, has am I saying it right? Vijay has said to his brother-in-law, I'm going to need to ask you a favor for something. And I think the favor that he asked his brother-in-law to do is to go to the press when the press is
probably
videoing the home, and say like, oh yeah, it was all the shitty police officer's fault, like he's been abusing my family for blah 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 blah, I'm his brother-in-law, he's an honorable man and everything, to kind of make it look as if it's like the police's fault and they're all corrupt and everything.
Yep.
They dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and we're like, shit, they're gonna find the fucking body, and the game's all up.
Mm-hmm.
But they find like a dead
dog.
Yeah, a big dog at that.
Big dog.
Yeah, a dead big dog. A big dead dog.
A big Clifford, the big dead dog.
and he's there, and so like, there's no body of the kid. And so the next day or whatever, like sometime afterwards, everything's chilled out. The police is being taken down for it.
The police are fucked because of the way that they did it. Like, they have no evidence, but they beat them all and like made them go through this whole like traumatic experience. So the chief ladies like stepped down, and
the shitty police officer, he's been chucked out of the police force.
Yeah, he's fucked. Everyone's fucked except the family. And then like one day the police come back and they're like, basically the chief police lady and her husband want to speak to you privately.
Wait. We need to find out where the body was hidden. So
do we know? Is that not last?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Interrupt me like that.
Sorry.
So then like he goes over there and they're like, look, we're leaving. We just don't even care anymore. Just let us know, like, if he's dead or not.
Because they want some closure.
Like, yeah, every time the doorbell rings, we're like, fuck, is it him? Like, can't deal with the suspense anymore. So he's like, why?
A stranger came into my home and threatened my family.
He tells them that Sam is dead without saying exactly that Sam is dead, but he says that they're sorry. So they're like, okay, right, he's dead. So they go. And then we just see he's in the police station as before, and he goes to see the new policeman, and he's like, we know what you did. We'll find the body and we'll pin you up against it, and you will be fucked. And he's like, I trust the police, like, and I think that you and your police station will keep us safe. And then he walks out, and as he walks out, we get like a cut between him walking out now and him walking out when the police station was being built, and you see the foundations, because he took the body from where it was buried, swapped it with the dog, presumably, and then he's buried the body under the police station because he knew that the floor was being laid like the next day. So he like buried the body and then they cemented over the floor without ever knowing. So basically he's saying the police station will keep him safe because the body is under the police station. They're not going to look under the police station. So they're fucked and he's totally got away with it and everything's cool. And then that's the end of the film, right?
Nice one. Yeah, you did a fantastic job. Well done.
Thank you. The film kind of stuck in my head. Like, I don't know why.
Mate, you were going.
Yeah.
Like, there was only one bit that you needed me to chime in with the interrogations and stuff, but you fucking had, like, the whole first half of the film, you had that all down.
Smashed it,
I'm
mate.
fucking impressed, man.
Let's just fucking do these beefs, mate, because we're going to be here for a couple of hours.
Yes. Okay, you hit it.
Okay.
How early on is your one?
Where the scene with Sam, where
mine's way before that.
Okay. Do you want to do yours first then?
Yeah. So
let's do chronological beef.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So you got the opening scene where you got your man who walks into the bar where he's like, "Where is the police station?"
Yeah.
And the guy in the bar is like, "It's opposite. It's across from the road." So if you're a fucking police officer,
not a very good fucking police officer.
Like, there's signs around saying this is the police station.
Keeps failing those detective exams.
What the fuck? Like
Question 1A: Can you tell us where the police station is based off of these images? One of a police station.
Exactly. Like,
am I allowed to call a friend?
It was terrible. It was okay. Next. I didn't like how much he was patronizing his wife. Like, he was constantly belittling his wife and saying that she was stupid.
Yeah,
and
he
stuff.
was very much, and she was just like, "No, I'm not dumb.
I have a doctorate." Like, for fuck's sake, she has a doctorate.
No, I don't think she did she?
Oh,
she.
Was that a joke or something?
I don't know. Yeah,
but she left school like way later than he did. So she is more qualified than him. But in any case, like, it was constant like patronization of women like throughout the whole.
Yeah. This film, like, just took a shit on women.
And it had, like, 3 prominent women figures.
Yeah.
And everyone else was a man, apart from 2 women who beat up two of the women. And that is all the women that you have in the film.
Basically,
pretty much all the women that you have. Everyone else is a man who is held up as being honourable or something. I really hated the... what's the guy's name? The police... Guy Tondi.
Gaitonde. That's the dickhead police officer.
That's the dickhead police officer. I just generally hated him because he was a knobhead. How can he get away with being that corrupt? Because everyone knows.
Because there was even a scene where they tell the other police officer, who seems to be a nice guy, that he's being corrupt, and he's just like, Gaitonde, is this true? Yeah. Well, okay, we'll leave it at that then, I guess.
Yeah, and also, like, there's... Okay, I listen to a bunch of satirical podcasts, and one of them has like some Indian people who come on and they talk about political satire and whatever, blah, 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 in India. And the impression that I get and what they put across is that it's a very, very, very corrupt place anyway, with their government and scandals and police and stuff. So apparently this is a lot more commonplace than it is in England, but still, like, come on. Like, to even portray it in films as being completely normal, especially when they're in the cafe, and you've got the guy in the cafe, like Martin is the name of the guy whose cafe it is, and he's talking with an elderly couple, and they're like, oh yeah, and he threatened. This horrible police officer threatened me to say that if we accused him of or pressed charges or whatever it was that they're talking about, they're going to kill my son. If we complained about his behaviour, then he's going to kill my son.
Didn't make any sense.
And Martin was like, "Oh well, why complain anyway?" I was like, because the police officer's been mad corrupt.
It's just like, and that just came out of nowhere. Like, you think that I was thinking that's where the film is going to go towards, like that sort of deal with that issue, but that just stops there. That's it. And we don't even find out who the fuck that guy is or what anything is going on about there. It's just like, oh, police corruption. What are you going to do, eh? Fucking hell.
All right, go for Sam, I think.
So, yeah, it's just like about how ridiculously weak they portray the women in this film. Like, I mean, first of all, it's just a fucking film of her back. It's not even anything. It's literally not anything. It's just a video of her back. You don't see anything. Like, okay, fair enough, you don't want that out, but like, it's just like, we need to is India at that place where like they can't even deal with seeing a film of a woman's back without like
maybe
like,
not
sending
maybe not
them to like fucking outcasting them, because that's fucking wrong.
Because you got one level where it's like you're bringing shame upon your family by revealing your back.
Bathing
For bathing. It's not even sexual.
Quite clearly being filmed unknowingly as well.
Precisely. So clearly, like
you can't see her face because she's turned around. If she turned around and you saw something, then that would be a whole other thing. So, but you don't even see who she is. So
it's presumed that this whole video would bring shame upon the family of the woman who is being portrayed in the video.
Yeah.
And she is completely unsuspecting. Shame is upon her and not upon the person who was harassing her taking this video.
Yeah.
Like how fucked and sexist is that? Like that's just so wrong.
Right.
And it was it was maybe encountered like towards the end of the film when the chief police officer woman was like, "Oh, I now know about the video, and so I understand why." And there was some kind of thing where I was like, "Oh, I understand that my son was in the wrong somehow." But that's like all.
Yeah,
that is all there is, and it just blows my mind that in any place in the world, like this woman could be seen as like shame upon her family for bathing.
Exactly. But so just the fact that her and her mother are like basically cowering in the corner, like begging him not to like, or begging him to delete it, and they're just like in tears and like not doing anything about it. Like the most that happens is that the daughter tries to hit the phone out of his hand. Like that is about as aggressive as it gets. Like it's just sad to see that like they couldn't think of a way of writing it where they weren't as like as literally just as pathetic as that. Like as if they couldn't have like the writers couldn't have given those characters even an iota of a backbone. It's just really sad to see.
And also there's another point in the interrogations, like one of the first interrogations at their home, where she says something about the 2nd of October, and Gaitonde is like, you revealed the 2nd of October, and her husband, so the main guy
starts laughing.
He's like, yeah, she's a dumb woman. She's scared.
Yeah, literally just like, don't listen to her. She's a woman.
And everyone's like, oh yeah, that checks out.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, now that a man has explained that situation, I don't mind.
Oh my God. Okay, what's your next one?
My next one is around the car. If you have a key for a car and you unlock the car with the key, the car alarm does not go off.
Thank you, Jordan.
What the fuck? They're like one of the crucial plot points of this film is based around the fact
it all hinges upon it.
The fact that you...
That Gaitonde saw him in the car because the alarm went off.
Did he not see that Gaitonde was there? Because I swear there was a part where he sort of saw that there was people. Like he saw that there was the...
Yes.
Like if you're going to steal a car, because that is what he's doing essentially, you don't do it when there's people there, especially when we see how careful he is to like not be seen and do everything so like carefully and discreetly, and he's thinking about everything. Why would he steal the car that is like owned by a person who his daughter has just killed, whilst there are people that could potentially see him do that?
Well, on one hand, I'm like, well, he's not seeing the car because he's got the keys. On the other hand, everyone knows that he doesn't drive a yellow Hyundai Getz.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm definitely on the second part where it's like he would have thought through, considering how clever he is, he would have thought through the fact that other people would see that he's driving a car that's not his, and therefore is suspicious.
I mean, I'm not saying he's like stealing a car, but you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. The second point.
But the whole thing of like that alarm wouldn't have gone off. It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. There's absolutely no way that would have happened. So why? Like the whole film is like debunked from that point onwards. Like Gaitonde wouldn't have seen him because the car alarm wouldn't have gone off, because when you open a car, like you said, when you open a car with the car keys, the fucking alarm doesn't go off.
With the car keys to that car, it's like that's how you open that car. You can't do it in any other way. So why would the alarm go off?
Like a rich boy does not have a car that is faulty.
No.
Where, like how fucking annoying would that be? Every single time you go to open your car, the alarm goes off. There's no way
you
that
wouldn't buy that car. My next beef, when he's driving that car, you see this little bend, and there's a
motorcycle.
The motorcycle overtakes a fucking bus on a corner that looks so fucking like a death trap. I'm just sorry, but that
guy's
driving.
got a death wish.
Yeah, that's not good. You shouldn't be filming people driving like that without there being a consequence to show people you shouldn't drive like that.
But then again, I've heard people talking about driving in India, and it does look absolutely mental.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that potentially the safety out there is a little bit below what we expect.
Maybe when Indian people watch like British or American films of like there's people just driving around, they're like, Jesus, they're a bit vanilla where they're driving. You know? Why are the traffic wardens around?
Why is no one driving on the pavement?
I don't
There's
get
no
this.
one there. This is just free road.
It's a pedestrian crossing.
It's free real estate.
Why are you waiting to cross the road? It's a free real estate. Man, there was a whole when the dad was like explaining to his kids, why are the police going to beat you up? And the youngest daughter was like, when are they going to beat you up that bad? And the dad's like, oh, but
it'll be nothing more than like when I discipline you.
Exactly. He's like, well, yeah, but I hit you when you're naughty, don't I? So it's the same for us. No.
But he knew that it was going to be worse than that. He's obviously not going to get like a slap on the wrist unless he's actually beating the shit out of his children.
Well, yeah, of course, there's that.
You know, my daughter, when I beat the shit out of you, when you don't do your homework, you know, when I like literally slap you until you're bleeding and bruised,
Same thing.
It'll just be like that.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, yeah, sure, that's one part of it, but I'm thinking about the deeper implication of like the parent who gets abused as a child, therefore thinks it's okay to abuse his own kids.
Yeah,
like that is just a never-ending cycle of abuse, of childhood abuse. So like that's not a good reason. You can't justify torture in like for anyone by comparing it with physical abuse within your own family. That's just not okay on no day of the week.
No. Another thing I didn't like, the way that they try and build tension in this film, just throughout the whole film, is the most ridiculous thing. There's a bit where when he throws the phone into the truck, and it's like slow motion, and the music's like dum num dum num 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 dum num 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 dum num 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 num, and he's just like slow stepping, and it's like as he literally throws the phone in slow motion, it's like, oh my god, is the phone gonna go? Of course it's gonna go in the fucking bag, and if it doesn't, he'll just pick it up and do it again. Like, what the fuck? Why am I getting what? I'm not getting tense about this. I'm just bored. Like, what is going on here? Fucking ridiculous.
I think the film is 2.5 hours long because because again,
if you took out the slow-mo scenes, it would be a 30-minute film.
Exactly. Exactly.
The next bit, when he's driving the yellow car and he dunks it into the quarry, why did he not take the motherfucking plates off? He is a smart guy that has planned a whole thing where he's kept all the receipts, he's done all this shit, he's like taken the phone, he doesn't touch the SIM card, so there's no fingerprints on the phone. Like, he's literally so fucking intelligent, and then he drives a fucking car into the lake, the car of a person who has been killed by a member of his family, and he leaves the number plates on. Just take the number plates off and throw them in a fucking lorry. Like, just slow-mo throw them. Like, whatever you need to do. Bury them. I don't give a fuck. Why would you leave them on the car? It could be any fucking car if you take those plates off. It's not like you need to keep them on so you can drive it legally. It's going in a fucking quarry, mate.
Well, maybe... Okay, yes, he should have done that. But then it might have just kind of delayed the amount of time because the big fucking GI super police officer would be like, oh, my son drives a yellow high-end I gets, so maybe that was his car. Do you know?
Yeah, but that was like the proof. The plates. You see later on that they're like looking at the plates. Yeah. They make a deal out of it. It's like, that's not that hard to think of.
Also, why would you put it in a lake? I don't get it, because surely that's just going to come up anyway because it's like... what was he saying, that the quarry was going to be shut down or something, and that's why he drove it in
the quarry was mentioned before. I think maybe they were like going to fill it in,
because I thought if you left it unlocked in the city, maybe it'll just get stolen by someone, and that's be a pretty good way of getting rid of a car.
Well, also they've got access to CCTV that they use to like see him in the bank and stuff like that. What, did they not look for the car anywhere? They could have seen him in the car with CCTV pretty easily. I mean, I know it isn't England where we are literally watched 24/7 by every street corner, but...
Yeah, maybe they only have CCTV in banks and stuff.
Maybe. But that would have been a very easy way to have figured out like where he was. Like, you just trace back where the car was from, where the car was found, go back to like just search around the streets at that sort of time.
By the way, when they were doing the whole... when he was thinking about the SIM card... Yeah. And he was like, because he learns, he learns all of his how to get away from the cops by watching these movies, these cop movies and stuff. Yeah. And so there was the most ridiculous, like, this is what I'm going to do with the SIM card. Surely, like, a flashback to a memory that he has about a film is like maybe like 5 seconds when you see a clip in a film where they say, we're going to track the SIM card. And that's enough for the audience to understand this guy is going to use a piece of information that you saw in the film. Jordan, how long was that montage where
it was about 5 minutes worth of clips of films? Do you reckon they were all directed by the same guy?
Probably.
Like, just like, look at all these films I've done. And they're all about the same thing. Ridiculous that you only needed to see one.
Exactly.
Like, you could have been like, oh, I remember that one film where, like, you think of what's it called? Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
Imagine if for Slumdog Millionaire, he knew the answer to all of the questions because of many different scenarios, and we just see all of the scenarios. You could have just done one good scenario instead of showing me 5 fucking minutes of the same type of thing.
It's just way so much, just way too much. I just don't see why. Also the subtitles that I had. So the whole film's in Hindi, and the subtitles are in English.
Yeah,
and this is on Netflix. Did it for you? Like, my screen was bugging out on the Netflix. Okay, it might have just been the fact I was watching it on. Did you watch it on the computer?
I watched it on TV.
Okay,
one of the things that pissed me off is, for some reason, I mean, can you change? You can't change the color of Netflix subtitles, can you?
No, I don't think so.
Why did they film a white background? Like, there was so much white stuff, like, just at the bottom of the screen where the subtitles are, that it just made it that much more difficult to read because it was like white on white.
Yeah.
That happened so many times.
Yeah.
I'm just like, can I at least make them yellow? Like, I can on Amazon Prime, you can change the color of them.
Oh,
you can make them bigger. You can do whatever you want with them. On Netflix, it's just like, here are your subtitles. Be happy, you fuck.
To be be grateful. To be fair, that is a beef with Netflix and not with this film. So
I'm taking everyone.
But there were some points that the subtitles didn't add up to the things that they were saying.
Right.
Like,
so it was lagging out, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I was like, well, this just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Okay, go on.
It took a whole police force to find the car. Like, the whole police force was there. The car, like, they're like taking the car out of the quarry, and literally there's just fucking like 17 vans, 4 squad cars, like, just like police dotted all along the quarry, just like, we found the car. Now let's take it out. And she's just like, wrap it up. Like, okay, everyone just goes home. Like, what? They weren't doing anything in the first place. My most significant beef of this thing, though.
Yeah.
That's his mum. She should not be working on that case. That is a conflict of interest.
Yes. Okay, I get it now.
You get it now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, she's obviously how can she focus on working that case properly if, like, she is so heavily invested in it?
Well, that's the point of, like, the police is corrupt thing, because she was like, I don't care about protocol.
Yeah.
Do whatever you need to do to find the answers, and I want these answers because I feel that there's something wrong as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, she was actually right in thinking that it was them. But I feel like any other police officer, and even her husband, was like, why don't we just, like, we should at least be focusing on finding him instead of just putting all of our energy into questioning them. Because for so long, the stories are just like working out, and it's like, it's all so watertight for so long.
Yeah.
They're like, right, we've interrogated them once. Let's bring them all in again. We'll interrogate them all in separate rooms. We're looking at them. All of their stories are still checking out. Okay, fuck it. Let's get every single person they interacted with, and we'll bring them in, interrogate all of their, like, that whole process.
I tell you what, Jordan, check this out for, like, rewriting the film.
Okay.
So they go public with the Sam is missing straight away.
Yeah.
And so they're like, anyone who knew Sam, tell us, and like, and so basically they would have got in touch with all of the families of the girls who were videoed at the nature camp, right? Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had gone over to other girls' places and basically raped them.
He's harassing loads of women. Like, he's...
So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, okay, so we just need to find the last person that he harassed, and then he probably got killed by that family.
Exactly.
And then because they went public with the whole thing, they would have found out that family a lot quicker, dug up all around their property, and they would have had search warrants and like rights to interrogate them and stuff like that. So it would have been all done by the police, by the book, without them having to be like on the hush hush and being completely like separate from the press and everything, which implicated them later on and allowed the guy to get away with it.
Another dumb thing, when they're interrogating all these people, right, that conclude the story.
Yeah.
They go through all of them, and then they do it again, don't they? Like they come back to them, and they're like really just digging into it. And then right at the end, it's like, when did you last speak to them? And he's like, oh, just a couple of days ago. What? But you were supposed to have spoken to them. This was supposed to have happened weeks ago. Yeah, he came and he was telling me about when I met him last. Why do you not ask the person that? That should be the first question.
Exactly.
Like, I swear, I've seen so many films where it's like, when did you last see this person?
Surely.
If they'd have just asked that right at the beginning, and they'd been like, oh, it was like, literally, it could be any person within this story, and it would have been obvious. It's just like, the bus driver man, when did you last see this person? Oh, I saw him just the other day. What did you speak about? Oh, he told me about that time when I went there. Oh, did he now? Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's ask the next person. Oh, the same thing. That's enough for me.
Film wrapped up in 45 minutes.
Ridiculous. Bullshit.
Hey, Jordan, I like a montage just as much as the next guy, but Jesus Christ, if the Indians don't know how to make a really fucking long montage. It was the same with like Stars on Earth.
Yeah.
It was the same with a Wednesday.
Yeah.
They fucking love a big montage.
Yeah.
And it was just like, by the time you've got the third long montage, because hey, in most American films, I would rather those montages go on for ages, because like they're always so short, and I want to have a bit more.
Give me quality montage, not just quantity.
Right. And I would rather have like one really long, wicked montage that does all the things I need for it, and then that's all the montage
there was
you
about
have.
5 montages in this
And
film.
they were all really long and unnecessary.
2 more of the intense situations that I really fucking hated. When Gaitonde is speaking to the police officer, and he's like, I know it's Vijay, blah, 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 blah. I spoke about that they're looking on this case, and he looked concerned. Now he's walking off. I bet you he's going to turn around. And then they literally make a slow-mo of him like walking and looking like with his eyeballs back, and you're like, is he going to turn around? Is he going to turn around? Is he going to turn around? No, he doesn't. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, did you actually just try and like make suspense out of a man turning around? Seriously? The next one, when they're fucking going to dig up the body, you know it's not going to be there.
Actually, I didn't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I fully thought, I was like, okay, this could actually be the end. And I was actually really surprised when I found out that, when we found out it was underneath the police station.
I was surprised by that. I thought it was going to be under his garage thing, because he got his garage slapped, didn't he? But the fact that he like spoke to his brother-in-law and was like, you need to call these people. I was like, he's called some people that have just gone and dug up the body and moved it.
I thought that whole thing was about the press, and that
makes sense.
And I was like, okay, well, that card's been spent.
He obviously like must have moved it, but I was just like, there's no way that body is there, because it's just too convenient that like at the end of this, it's just that his daughter cracked and then they found the body. I was just like, it went on for so long, and I just knew that the body wasn't going to be there. It pissed me off so much.
Man,
my last point is that they beat them to get a confession. That doesn't work. You can't beat someone until they tell you what you want them to hear.
Well, I think that's what a lot of...
That's the general consensus with like torture and things like that. It doesn't work, because if you just keep hurting someone until they give you the information that you want, how reliable is that information? Because they just want you to stop hurting them. It just doesn't work.
I mean, it works as far as getting the person to go on record to say the thing.
Yeah, you can get them to say what you want them to say.
And also, so you got Vijay, he gets beaten up, and you got his whole family that are like, oh fuck, please don't hurt him. Then they start beating up his wife and his daughter, and he's like lying on the floor. Now, no matter who's getting beaten up, whether it be like the women or the guy, why isn't like the person who's not getting beaten up at that time defending that guy?
Yeah, he just lies there and lets it happen.
Because like Gaitonde is all like, when Vijay tries to stop him from punching his wife, Gaitonde's like, are you stopping a police officer? Like, are you obstructing a police officer? I was like, well, yes, because you have no right to torture my family. Yeah, especially because we're not even like legitimate suspects. You have
no proof or no evidence to go on.
Exactly.
You're trying to beat a confession out of us, and that's why I'm defending that.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not defending is more likely to make you think that they are
implied or implicated or suspect. Yeah.
Do you have any bits and bobs?
Yes. I've got some bits and bobs we can rattle through quickly.
My first one is just that I actually kind of like this film. up till about 20 minutes. I actually was kind of enjoying it.
Right.
And the first song that comes in, that bopped. I really liked that song. I was like, it had a nice little bit. It's like, boom,
oh yeah. That one was cool. Yeah, I was into that.
Yeah, and then the little
This is during the first montage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, actually, no, that was the second one, I think.
This
had this weird
when they went to town.
Yeah, the music was cool because it was like the music was like really major and happy, and then it had this weird like minory, sad overtones coming over it, and I was like, this music is really, really cool, man. I'm really loving this, and then it just went fucking north.
I just love the way. By the way, the term is usually went south,
but it depends where you're standing. They're on the other side of the world.
Okay, that makes sense now. But I just love I just love how you could be in a studio and you'd be like, "This is a great song. I really like it." The way that you just said it.
It bops.
Hey, this song bops. And when you collab with Kendrick, hey Kendrick, you bop.
Kendrick, this is really good. Kendrick, I love that little
when the police go to the school to interrogate the elder daughter, and they go into the classroom, and there's the maths teacher who is spouting the most stupid maths bullshit. She's like, and so it was like ad lib maths talk. And so A plus B equals 2 minus C. Oh, police officer.
I had an Indian maths teacher at school, and
really?
I just got like PTSD because I hated that class so much. I just remember that she'd always go on about the nth term, and it was just all coming back to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is too much. I don't like it."
I have a question for you, Jordan.
Yeah.
What evolutionarily caused Indian people to have such thick moustaches?
They're really thick, aren't they?
Because beards, not happening. But moustaches, yes.
I love them.
Like, brilliant. Like every police officer, apart from the women, they all had the strongest moustaches. I'm like, what's
I think you find
what's working for you?
Generally,
it's like really dusty in India, and so they need that to protect their nostrils even more, or like what's going on there?
Over in Asia, I think people are generally hairier.
No.
Yeah, no, I think they are.
No.
Off of my experience.
Of all Asian people
that I've met.
I don't think so. I think Mediterranean people are hairier. I think English people are hairier than
I don't think English people are very hairy. It doesn't make sense though, does it, that statement? Because you'd think that people in cold places would have more hair.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true though. I mean, take you for example.
I'm a hairier guy.
You are hairier, just
not on my
top.
head. Yeah. It's just not. None of it's on my head. It's just all on my body.
Yeah.
But you got hey, look at like Norway and Scotland. They're a hairy bunch.
They are hairy.
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day, everyone's got hair.
Maybe in like there's something going on with India, and they just got like really cold lips, and just cold lipped Indian people.
Or maybe it's to protect them from the sun.
So they're like all of the Indians with like I don't know sunburnt lips.
Yeah,
they were all getting like natural selection. The ones with the
they got wheedled out.
The ones with the furrier lips, they're the ones that were the strongest.
I mean, generally, if you're talking about natural selection and evolution, maybe in India, having a thick moustache was always seemed as a desirable trait.
It was just the sexiest thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, okay.
Which is understandable. Moustaches are sexy. They don't make you look suspicious whatsoever.
They're never dishy, are they?
No.
If you were to be someone in this film, who would you be?
I'd be VJ, and I would take the fucking plates off of the car. That just really pissed me off, man. It really got to me.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's fair. I would be...
That's all. I don't know if it really changed anything.
Well, it would. I personally feel like it would just make it longer until they got round to suspecting.
All they need is time, though, don't they? They need to like just make this like whole thing draw out so that it's like we need to move on, and because he's still missing.
Yeah, but Guy Tonde still would have been like, no, I really saw him. I really definitely saw him.
Guy Tonde can suck a fuck.
He really, really can.
Who would you be?
I'd be Sam and not harass people.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Maybe not sexually assault people.
Maybe not be such a fucking little creep.
like, or I'd be she said the elders also said, oh, and one of the kids on the camp, their dad is a lawyer, and they got the lawyer, and the lawyer was like, stop being a perv, right? Now, if I was that lawyer, I'd also be like, show me that phone, delete all those videos right now. Therefore, there is no issue anymore. Like, sure, I would also give him a caution, and I'd make sure that he was being watched by someone, because that is sexual harassment. But I would also be like, delete all those videos now, so that he can't like abuse anyone further.
Yeah.
Because surely if you're taking someone down for committing a crime, you also want them.
Couldn't they have just called the police?
Right?
And just been like, this child has taken videos of my daughter. He has them on his phone. It was him. So if this video ever comes online and anyone gets this, that sucks, but they know who did it. And then surely like everyone would be like, well, actually, that's really sad that that's happened. Fuck this guy.
Well, no, because this is what we discussed earlier, where it was like, apparently in India, the shame is upon the family of the woman who is being shown in the video.
Well, that's just a fucking shame.
At the very least, that is just a fucking shame. Who would you bring into the film?
I'd like to bring Sherlock Holmes into the film.
Okay.
On, like some sort of English exchange. I don't know. They send the chief of police over to us, like an exchange student.
Yeah.
And they get Sherlock Holmes. He's just going to bust the case wide open.
Of course he is.
Because at the end of the day, they did kill a person. And, I'm like the whole time I watched this film, like, he was a dick. He did film, but did he deserve to die? And did he deserve to die and not have any, justice whatsoever? Because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
He died for filming someone. He did a bad thing, but I don't really believe in the death penalty. And I don't think that necessarily this kid deserves to die. I think maybe that there should be some sort of justice. So I would like perhaps a non-biased detective. It doesn't even have to be, it could be Luther, it could be anyone. I don't care who, just someone who's going to come in and actually look at it from another perspective, at least maybe send out some other police. I feel like even though it would have been pointless, there should have been some situation where they're looking for him at the same time. Maybe they could have found some more evidence that way.
The thing is, though, I'm sorry, it can't be Luther. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you cannot wear a massive coat in India.
That's true, yeah.
You can't be wearing that coat and that tie and all of that in India.
What about Batman?
Does the yellow car come in black?
Where's the boy?
Where is he? Yeah, okay. I'd bring in Mary Berry.
What the fuck? Why?
Okay, the reason why is because when I crashed at your place, not too long ago, your girlfriend was watching Bake Off.
Yeah.
And I watched maybe 15 minutes of Bake Off or something, and there was some. I was about to say there was some kind of sweet baked good, and I was like, well, that's the whole show, Keiran.
Pretty much. I mean, they do savoury stuff, but majority cakes.
Yeah. Okay. There was some kind of cake going on.
It's bread week.
Bake. There was some kind of cake.
What the fuck was that?
That was my impression of when they. I
3,
2,
1. Bake.
I just can't deal with that show. I just can't stand it. I'm just not on board.
Nah, I liked it, but then a bit too much of it.
Okay. Anyway, they had some kind of cake going on, and basically the brown people in the show, they brought their cakes over to the white people in the show, and the white people were like, "This is too spicy." For every single one of their cakes, and I'm like, you're just being too white for can it be more bland and British, please? And so I want Mary Berry to go.
Can we have a bit more potato? Just a bit more flour and carrot, more root vegetable,
the starch,
and
please.
some cream.
Carbs? Any more carbs?
Yeah.
Just that. And so Mary Berry would go over there, and there was that particular meal that they had loads of.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the name of the meal was, but I feel
it really pissing me off. I can't remember it.
I can't remember what it was either. It's two words that make one.
I feel like it starts with pack or
There's a P in there somewhere, and it's really pissing me off what it is. and it's going to bug me. We're probably going to come back to it in the bonus episode, in the roundup, because we'll just, you know what we'll do, Jordan? We'll just Google it, which we could do now, but we're not going to.
No, it'll disrupt the flow.
Of course. And so I would have Mary Berry go over there, and she would just like tag along for those things where she would eat some of the food, have some spicy food. Hey, she might help in the kitchen because, hey, all women do is be in the kitchen, in this film. So so she would do that, and she would get a little bit of inspiration of the spice because she's like the only white woman in the film.
So you're literally bringing in Mary Berry to improve another TV program.
Yeah.
It's not going to have any effect on this film whatsoever. She's just going to be there so that she can go and make our TV a little better.
So
I guess she could at least like collude to the fact that they ate that stuff. She's like, yes, well, actually, I was there.
Yeah, okay, so
no,
sure, I'll take that.
I threw you such a bone.
And I'm very grateful for it. I'm very thankful.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And I've also like taken on board like the colonial implications. Yeah, we want to bring a white woman over there so we can steal all of your spices and bring it over here and make our stuff better. Thank you very much. Bye.
Keiran just likes some white in his Indian films.
No. But I would bring in Mary Berry. There we go.
Okay. All right. So, do we really need to ask this question?
No.
Would you stay indoors?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
Me neither. That was a whole piece of shit.
You know what? There were points where I was like, this is...
Watch it for the first 20 minutes. Get that first song. I'm going to go and download it, mate. I'm going to be listening to that on the bus.
But what the shame is, Jordan, is that I definitely feel like there's a good film in here somewhere.
There is.
I feel like there's a really good film in here.
It's been edited badly. There's too much in it. Like, it needs to just be shortened down and...
What I've heard about Indian cinema, like the Indian cinema experience, is that you bring like your whole fucking family and whole picnic,
right?
And like and there's an intermission in the middle of the film.
Oh, okay.
And like it's like a whole afternoon where everyone's shouting throughout the cinema, right. And everyone's. So maybe they need it to be that long, and they need each montage to be that long because everyone's fucking getting food, and they're like, what just happened? Oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah. And so they need things to be repeated and everything.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it's so bespoke.
It's not the cinema viewing experience that I would like.
No, I was sitting upstairs in my room by myself, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's the complete opposite. So maybe we needed to have that we need to recreate that cinema experience before we watch the next Indian film.
We just need to bring all of our family round and scream "fuck off" at the screen.
Yeah, and have that Indian meal that we can't remember the name of.
So if you're going to do that, watch the film. If not, fuck it off. Yeah. Don't do it.
Fuck it off.
So
keep talking whilst I find the next film, Jordan.
Right, of course. So in the scale of the Indian films we've watched so far, it was A Wednesday.
Terms of how bad?
No, just okay. In terms of how bad, we've got A Wednesday, The Stars Among Us.
Stars on Earth.
Like Stars on Earth, and this one. Which one was the worst?
For me, A Wednesday easily was the worst.
Yeah, it's definitely. It sits in the middle, doesn't it?
Yeah. Drishyam sits in the middle because Like Stars on Earth actually was legit, but just had some weird shit going on.
Yeah, I thought it was a great film, but just a little bit too long. Again.
Yeah. But whereas this one is like, I felt so bad.
At least no one burst into song.
Yeah.
Unexplainably. Like the teacher in Stars on Earth.
Why the hell not? But I will tell you, next week, and I am really, really looking forward to this, we are going to be watching Inside Out.
What's it all about?
You do the cocaine turning around. Okay. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will. See you next week.
Bye. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we ready to tell them?
Yeah.
We're going to tell them something?
Yeah, tell them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you guys that you can find us.
I'll tell you what I want. What I would really, really quite like
is a 5-star
really
review.
Nice for a 5-star review.
God damn it. We've got to work on our wannabe impressions. So, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can do it there. You can also do it wherever else you get podcasts if you're able to do that. If you are listening to this on a podcatcher of your choice, wherever you listen to this, you can probably find more of them. So, go listen to more of them because, we're funny in other times too. So, check that out.
Sometimes, yeah.
At 250 Reasons, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Send an email to 250reasons@gmail.com.
That was the best we've done.
That's the best we've done it so far. It's still not quite right.
Yeah.
There's something. I want to say it's me.
You're going to say it's you, but you feel like it's me, and you're just being polite.
I feel like we need some further clarification, but this will happen off mic. But you can join us next week.
Even though it seems to be happening on mic.
It does seem to happen on mic.
Fuck you. Bye.
Bye.